All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So, there's a big issue with ICE facilities. I don't know if, I guess in the city, some of the BOP facilities are built like the ICE facilities. What you made a mistake in doing in a lot of the facilities is you didn't claim enough real estate. And what you needed was like a tall fence, a certain distance. I can't tell you what that distance is exactly unless I see some things. But there's a certain distance that the fence needs to be from the facility. And that's one of the mistakes you made. Now the fence, has to be like a prison fence where they can't jump it or anything or even think about jumping it, right? You have to post the land, and then you have to be arrested if they trespass. Right. So you need a fence. So when you build the newer facilities, you have to take into consideration a standoff zone. Right. Then you need to include, and I don't think you have to fence the area, you just have to post it. I guess, they could say they didn't see the sign. That's one of the... Right. Well, the idea is you have to make it so they can't even get near the fence without being arrestable. That's one of the difficulties. Although I guess this is the way you'll do it. You could build a decoy fence, which, in other words, you have the real fence, then you have your fence that once they breach that fence, then you arrest them. So essentially, you're going to build a standoff zone, standoff away from the ICE facility. Then you'll have some additional real estate, and then just some bum fence. and that area is like a no man land area. Once they get in there, then you arrest them. You have to do it because you're doing the same thing they ended up doing at the federal buildings in Portland, I think, the first administration. And it was bad publicity. And I guess they bum rushed some veteran, and who knows? He had something in his hand. I have no idea what he had in his hand, and maybe you didn't either. He had something in his hand that probably raised some concerns. And he was like right there as the agents were coming down some walkway, but it's just they're in too close. So what you need to do on your old facilities is see if you can get more land or build on your own land. And you have to put up some fences. Now you could put up walls and stuff too if you need to, right? Solid walls. Right. But there's what's it called? Condemnation. I can't even remember what it's called. where the government claims the land, you might be able to go through some of that. Right. You might have to own a couple roads too, like shut off some smaller roads that are around your facility. Again, as long as you're in a road. So let me see. Process where government seizes land. Eminent domain, right? So you might need to do some eminent domain. Again, pay them, something decent. Right. Right. Now you're built all wrong. It's just there's no reason that you're like that on ICE facilities. You had plenty of places to put it, and again, you didn't take that into consideration probably. So any future facility, you need to take into consideration a standoff zone. Right. So you want a fence, a standoff zone, like a distance from your buildings and your operations, then like a prison fence, right? Then you want some more space and just a standard fence that's posted as U.S. property and trespassing prosecution. And then prosecute everybody, because eventually you've arrested everyone that I guess there could be an endless stream of people, but essentially you'll arrest some of the regulars, and then if they come back to your facility, then they go in custody if the judge lets them out. And the judge will probably let them out. But if they come back to your facility, then they get detained. Because you're playing that stupid game. And again, you get suited up, you get to beat up people, but, Let's try to minimize that. Right. Again, you got judges that have concerns. I mean, they understand, but right. Thank you, Larry. I agree. They're cursing all my devices. So what's happening in the other one? I have a special setting a vocal boost setting that I put it on, and it kept flipping. It's flipping out of the vocal boost setting, so it sounds kind of muffled. Right. Sounds great with the other microphone if it's on vocal boost. Well, there's a couple issues now. I got another update for the firmware, so it might mean that they're trying to fix it. Right. Please reinsert. I mean, it's wacky. My adapters are disappearing. They're trying to kill my menorah for the night. Because tonight the menorah is going to get lit for Sabbath. Why is that there? All right, let me see what I got here. Now, see, it went back to original EQ, and then noise gates off. So the problem is I don't have a Windows app for this. So when I put it in Windows, I'm kind of hoping that it keeps some sort of setting. I don't think it was doing that. Hopefully you're all having a rotten day. To tell you the truth, if you're out there as deep state. And I hope it gets worse off. And again, having to beat up protesters all the time isn't really the best case scenario. So if you're from the administration doing this stuff, you need to back off, or it'll get worse. Some of you might not see your family for months on end, and your wife might find somebody to have a hoochie coochie with. Right. Look, if them women in the church were looking at porn or having sex with men, I could care less. Okay? But they are the devils that cause people to look at porn. Okay? And to have sex out of wedlock and be prostitutes and go gay cruising in parks. This is who they are. So again, they are the devil's self. But we knew they would exist, right? No, it's the others that are like that. You're not conservatives, are you? You stole the Republican Party. You cause other people to fall so that nobody will look at any of you. In fact, somebody probably blackmails you for it. They have this like AI thing, and it's Trump and Putin walking like down this red carpet, and it says Trump just flew a B-2 bomber over top of Putin's head and like landed and got out. Right. Well, somebody has to do something. Like, I don't want the Democrats to cause the homeless to suffer so they can get a headline. Right. And Trump obviously isn't. Trump people aren't obviously doing what they were supposed to do with the homeless people so that there wouldn't be a headline. Right. So I'm hoping the mayor gets with it, because they benefit by those people being politically by those people being displaced. With big headline. Trump administration does it again. Right. If you're deep state in Trump administration, and it appears you are, that's part of why things aren't going as smooth as they were 2 or 3 months ago. Right. Like, if you take money in government, highest bidder gets to do whatever they want, then you're deep state, all of you. and then you'll have troubles. So, apparently, things are going on. Maybe it was a different date, maybe one of those things where it already happened a couple months ago. I don't care. Made a sandwich. Love them. Yeah, but you know what? You see these arrests in D.C., they were already going on. Well, but you almost hate D.C. Metro Police. Right? Oh, obviously, I don't know what the stats were, but obviously before Trump started the operation, D.C. Metro Police was arresting certain people. I don't know what the numbers were. Apparently, he's supposedly doing a good job. All right, that's cool. I try to get you two together for how many years? That's the beginning of it. We'll see where it goes. No, there doesn't have to be anything happens today. It's still historical that we once again began negotiating with the Russians in a real way. Like, hey, hi, we're together and we met because we can meet. Right? There's no CIA person going, oh, President, don't meet with Putin because he's gonna do stuff to you and it's not gonna look good. Why? Because they make money in anti-power by keeping that thing going. Like if you're in government and you're in the CIA, Putin is people going to kill a number of people you know. It's just a fact of life. But the work says that you push that aside if you can get somewhere else where we don't have to fight that war. Those people, they can't, they're sick. They're all sick. The deep state's sick. They have personal grudge, so they kill get all these people killed. You get madder. Right. Oh, they know people that are close in that were killed by Putin and his people for decades. Right. Vice versa. Right. Right. Well, I mean, there's no doubt that people at CIA were working and were affiliated with were tortured and murdered in Russia and in any of the stands, due to the work of, and Belarus, due to the work of Putin and his people. Well, no doubt. But again, the only way to the other side where that's not happening is what President Trump and President Putin are doing. Right. You just start meeting. There doesn't have to be any decision today. Right. But I think they're going to try to manipulate Trump. So they tried it before, and then he went with it for a while. He wasn't being manipulated, but he wasn't fighting back. And then at a certain point, he fought back and tell Putin to go F off. This is their next move. Right. Thank you, Larry. The timing for the move into D.C. was horrible. You never cared about anybody else that was carjacked. Right. All of a sudden somebody gets carjacked. Oh, that's it, we've had enough. Otherwise we don't care. Right. Thank you, Larry. Well, it's real. X is a porn kingdom. I don't know if he's really a social conservative. He runs a porn kingdom. Right? And the algorithms will try to sexualize you. Now, I don't know if that's him or somebody that works for him. Right. Yeah, it could be the CIA. Could be a DEA. Could be anybody who has access to that kind of thing. Right. Could be formers. Could be Jonathan Luna's girlfriend. That's not Larry. Thanks, Larry. He's tried to sexualize me before. Except I even said she was like that. But of course, certain people hire her, right? Right. I wouldn't say the president's transparent. He apparently has the gift of gab. Some say the president's transparent, or the administration's transparent. Well, maybe it is, but you just fired your woman that was putting out data you didn't like. So, I mean, even if you are, nobody believes it. Right. Thanks, Larry. Yeah, like I said, the people in that church were just, you know, and they're probably porn stars, some of them. The one guy's like, I keep trying and I can't make it, and I try to do better, and oh, what are you looking at, porn? They have these testimonies. But see, I'm an investigator. I'm like, he's looking at porn. So now to read the testimony, you know. It's like making fun. But I'm too busy protecting churches. Protect churches. Looks like there's something going on in here. We could be a danger. It's real. So, you know, it's not that they're sexual. It's just that they're abusively and aggressively sexual. How do the Palestinians get visas under the Trump administration? Oh, what Loomer believes? Okay, Loomer saying Palestinians should not receive... should not receive... How do you know they don't work for the CIA? Hey, thanks CIA! Well, you worked for the last 10 years, brother! You could be working for... You could be Mossad. And Loomer's trying to kill it. How does Palestinian get it? Shut up! It's Mossad! Trump needs that vote. He's got to do something. All right. Did the State Department approve this? Loomer wants it now. She'll send Putin's money machine after you. That's what's happening. When Loomer does this, Putin boosts her. Or China. We cannot tell a lie to you more. It is us, China. Loomer is ours. Marjorie Taylor Greene is right, but there's nothing she can do. As you call her a foreign asset. Loomer's a foreign asset. But, you know, what's her name was a foreign asset. Green was a foreign asset, but I think she changed. Right. Right. Say Mossad. Mossad and CIA. Shut up. They're owned. Do what happened in the freaking world? Idiots are put in place. You should have put me up there, and then it would work. Well, I wouldn't have to destroy you if you put me up there. All right. Well, because I wouldn't have to destroy you because you couldn't kill me. Right. Oh, it's not USA. I understand. What is it? Is it fake? Probably fake video. Actually, if you're doing my programs, you would. We are infiltrating the Islamic community in the United States with our Palestinian operatives. That's not a bad idea. Maybe we should do that. Right. No, some of the Palestinians even go to Jordan. So we help them go to Jordan. We help them go everywhere if they need, you know. Right. There's no reason they kill the children. It's so stupid. All you do is put like some code into the thing, don't kill children. And the thing wouldn't have killed children. It would have been a little slower, but look, here we are, how many years later, right? What you should have done is brought your hostage people in. Because it's not the same as it used to be. It's not like, we don't give you hostages. Yes, we do, because we can manipulate them. Right. We don't give them, we don't give them the house, but, right. Well, because you probably could have rescued more hostages by doing nothing but saying, what's going on? Relax, let's ceasefire. Ah, they're afraid of us. And then they all would have stayed up above ground. Right. And then you would have started finding them instead of waiting till afterwards to find them. In fact, they got killed in the bombing and everything. Right. Right. That's how you play it. That's how I would have played it. Just act scared. You're so... stop bombing us. Stop sending rockets, please. And then your satellites would have picked up a lot more. Your satellites and all that stuff would have picked up a lot more. Right. You can always start rocketing them at any given point. The trick is to get that initial time to figure out where all the hostages were. And then you could decide whether you did want to go forward with something like a peace deal, some sort of peace deal, or at a certain point retract it. Right. After you Well, you could infiltrate the Gaza with a bunch of, because it would have been safe. So you could infiltrate the Gaza with operators, like you did at the hospital. Right. Right. See? Yeah, it's a whole different world. That's why I don't know even if the United States is ready for a mass hostage situation. Well, because the idea is we need to have our hostage negotiators. You probably just fired a bunch out of the FBI, right? Well, they were here more, but now they're gone. We'll see if we can hire them somewhere else. At least you're moving Bub away. Go, Bub! Go be a judge! Get out of here! Thanks, Larry. No, we have to come up with a plan for we have to come up with what we think, again, case by case scenario, but we have to come up with contingency plans for these mass hostage situations if they ever happen again. Like, how do we handle it? We did it after Mumbai. Well, it's not to rocket them or missile them or anything. We want to talk to them first. Any hostage person will tell you, just give us a chance to talk to them first. They may walk away and say, well, start the war and nothing we can do. Right. But you have to give them a chance to talk. The chief missile guy, the chief hostage guy that they used for something prior to this, which I didn't know you did, I don't remember what the incident was. He said they didn't call him. They just went, they pushed him out. They kept him out. They didn't allow him in. Right. Well, you want actually some law enforcement officers in there, because then again, there's a lot more depth than just your standard hostage negotiator. Because the law enforcement hostage negotiator is going to try to manipulate the situation more than per se a hostage negotiator that's a combat, or not combat, but like a, what do we call that? Negotiating with just a flat out, like an Entebbe or something like that. And again, they're good for that too. But there might be something that they had developed over the years that, through psychology and the other things that works a little bit better than, say, the traditional negotiation techniques, even with terrorists. But you could have put on a big production, the way it works. And again, you have to set it up and have it ready so everybody knows. And I'm sure he's doing it. Netanyahu is doing his part every so often. So they all play a part. Like Trump would play a part. Or back then it was Biden. Biden would play a part. Netanyahu would play a part. And so the hostage negotiators would tell everybody how to act, what to say, when to appear, when not to appear. Right. Right. Well, I think the best, my idea was just to act surprised and go, what are you doing? Right. None of this makes sense. And, they might feel empowered, but I don't think they were going to go after anybody else. I mean, you could put a strong lineup of defense, and right. I guess they started with the rockets, but that's the idea. Get them to stop the rockets, get it to be calmed down like you did eventually, but then you could have actually started infiltrating the Gaza, right? And the satellites would have picked up movement, right? And it wouldn't have been as much going underground. They all went underground. And they may have done that, but they would have relaxed. Actually, no, they didn't. That's right, because the first days they weren't underground. A lot of them, right? Or say medical treatment. We've always had people coming here for medical treatment, right? I don't know if this is real or not, but right. Wow, you go to Johns Hopkins in Maryland, there's more Arabic people, Islamic people than there are white people a lot of times. Right. See, there's people trying to stir it all up against the Gazans. Right. There's a lot of false reporting. Right. It goes both ways, but it could be Russia or China doing it just to keep that. Somebody, they're working a campaign against Palestinians being taken by other countries. Yeah, they were pretending to be Israeli, but I don't think they are. Right, because Israel would, it could be ignorant, because Israel would want other countries to take them. That was the plan. That's their favorite plan. Well, that particular thing is somebody coming in for medical treatment. Right. Right. She says, who approved the visas? How many more are being given visas to come into the U.S.? And why are Gavin Newsom and Greg Abbott, Texas, harboring Palestinian refugees in California and Texas? It is a national security threat. I'm sure they're not Hamas. Right. Well, because if they're here, they got vetted by Mossad, CIA, and Shin Bet, probably. And FBI. Right. Now, we've always had these programs. Right. They weren't necessarily Palestinians, just anybody that needed medical treatment. Mossad, CIA side off. Yeah, there's a lot of fake photos of Trump and Putin, so I looked to see. What kind of chairs are those? What is that carpet? That looks weird. Look at those chairs. Those chairs look stupid. Look like something from the 70s, like your dining room table. She had some real chairs, man. Who picked the chairs? Fire them. I'll be Loomer. Fire the person who picked those chairs. Yeah, they tried muscling Trump. Trump was quiet for a while, and then he finally got pissed off. Right. They might be trying to do it again. So there's stuff that we don't see that Trump might see or that Melania might see, right? As far as a psyop, right? The CCP shirt may have been part of it. I know that's a certain kind of dig, but there might be more to it. Right. I don't see anything here. I thought something might be online here. Well, it looks like there's nothing but that Loomer thing. Well, get the F off my property is something the federal agents are used to hearing. I got some cowboy dude or something.
But this is cowboy country. We don't f with that shit. So that's two options. Y'all get down. Now we can all get down. What's up? We're not getting down. I think. Okay, so get the f on my property. But this is cowboy country. We don't f with that shit. So that's two options here. Yeah. Y'all get out, now we can all get down. What's up? We're not getting down. I think, okay, so get the on my property. But this is cowboy country. We don't with that shit. So there's two options here. Yeah. Y'all get out, now we can all get down. What's up? We're not getting down. I think, okay, so get the on my property. But this is cowboy.
And you have to go through the search warrant attempt, right? Well, because they'll be arrested. There's a third option. We bring the SWAT team and you get arrested. Well, I don't know if Putin's ever going to get what he wants. I mean, even without the United States, Europe won't allow it unless, it goes a certain direction. I thought Putin would give up more than he would, but so far, no. Right. It may have been that attack into Russia that did it. I don't know. We'll never know, I guess, unless Putin tells us some truth, All right. Thanks, Larry. Well, he said he would come to the table when it was probably in a bullshit attempt. Right. But, the idea that you invade, when he said he would negotiate, you moved into Russia, which really pushes his hand not to negotiate. I mean, there could have been a time for that, but that wasn't it. Thank you, Larry. Oh, there was a B-2 flyover. I thought they had Trump was flying over. Yeah, so essentially, the way to have done it for Putin, I guess, I don't know if he's going to do it, would be to hold out, and then offer something, and then see if they take it. But he's been like kind of increasing what he wants, I think, over time. Okay. Well, because that's how you do it. You get them so frustrated, he's not going to make a deal, and then you make a deal. But, only as far as you want it to go. Right? No, they were engaged in a sexualization routine in that church, there's no doubt. Right. Eventually, it would have just been youngsters around me. If once they believed that they got me turned on to the women, right, they would try gay stuff, just see if they could shift me. Right. Then they bring a lot of kids around me. But again, remember, it's a witch's coven, so they're casting spells. Right. On top of doing what I'm saying. That's not a test. I mean, come on. 30 years later or 35 years later, it's still a test. That's all bullshit. Right. No, they said I passed the test a million times. They just don't do it. They say I don't. It's either inconclusive or there's questions. Right. It's all bullshit. They're just trying to break the person and brainwash them into molesting children or committing some sort of sex or violent crime. So again, we don't know how many of the people, like the marshal goes, we arrested 15 sex offenders. We don't know if they created every last one of them in the same type of operation. We don't know that. And I surmise a lot of them know they did. Right. That is when they do it. They did it to Trump. I don't know if he ever did anything like that. But that thing with there's no doubt, a bunch of spies sexualized Trump. because they figured he might be president one day or something like that. Because he's talked about it. Once you talk about it or they think about it, then they'll start manipulating. All right, and try to. Oh, it's a big Cold War operation because Andrew was involved, right? Now, the question is, were U.S. spies involved? Yeah, because they have no loyalty to anything. That's why they're spies. They're going to get their multi-millions or billions no matter what. It's like Kroll. Look at Kroll. Talking for Weinstein. All right. What kind of trash is that? Right. And he retains his contract. Apparently, they're meeting at 1:45 or something, Putin and Trump. And that spells Q1. This is not by accident. All right, let me put this other stuff on here. They're trying to fear me. There's so much bullshit in what they do to me and probably what was recorded. I mean, I haven't seen the file. I just read inferences. Judges would love to get that thing in their courtroom. They know it. All right. Would that be protecting me? No. It'd be just doing their job. Right. Something you all have never done. To work. Why is this not working? Oh, let me see if. All right, get this to be seen. There it is. This is not by accident. Q1.
They cut all your services. Refuse now. Do not do this. You have the obligation to refuse.
No, I suppose. I can't refuse an order. Not for that. They put on cots. Nah, they were attacking the crime. Bowser's very careful because he knows. All right. Why did you buy blue vehicles? Black is better. Are these black or blue? These are black. Oh no, they're blue. I see. I thought they were black. It was better when they look black. Right. That one's black. Right. I did black with subdued lettering, but have the lettering on there. Right. I'm sure that's not every vehicle. Right. Yeah, the setup was already moving. I could see it once she tried to get the emotion, the compassion, my compassion to move. I knew, that the setup was on. Because I allow you to try to see if I would, try to hit on a woman in your church. Not that I think that she should hit on me. In an attempt to get me to hit on her, right? That's dirty pool, but right. But once she tried to do it for compassion, I figured these people are dirty as shit. Because, you could articulate a case to see if somebody would... I don't want to hear some psychological case that's bullshit. You all know what Jonathan Luna's girlfriend did to me, right? How dirty she was. The other agents were furious at it, right? They weren't only talking about John Luna and putting her sex out there, right? Yep. No. Like I told you, Newsom was going to... I knew Kathleen was going to do it. All right. They always do it. Right. Let's see what he said. What does Putin say?
Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. 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 Let's go.
Russiagate, that's... Oh yeah, let's bring up Russiagate. Because we're not going to have anything else for the rest of the the presidency because we fired all the good investigators. Right. No, Jiggs did the right thing. It isn't always easy to do the right thing, and maybe you think he did it for everyone else, but to a certain degree, he did it for himself. You can't violate a law like that. That's like me. I'm not going to violate law for the Marshal Service. No way. Right? I wouldn't be covered. Well, I would if I was a piece of shit. And I don't want to spend my life as a piece of shit crony. Right. Yeah, I want to be Slick Henry, right? Right? I'll spend my life as a piece of shit Slick Henry and then go to hell, right? Well, apparently, he's being like a sapper, a military dude, and corrections. They thought I was a piece of shit, I guess, like I was like them. Well, again, I watched too much Serpico when I was a kid to to do what you all wanted me to do. Right. Probably so. Well, what happens is, now these people are all retired and stuff, mostly, if not all, but FBI people know who I'm talking about, certain FBI people. So the information did find its way around the FBI exactly who my coworkers were, right, and how they were treated. Right. Had their agents been asleep, they would have never survived that, bringing arrestees to that office. Right. Well, because I'm sure when you're awake, like you go to the office, little girl's behind the desk, she says a bunch of bullshit. The next thing you know, you go, your car crashes or, all right, 100%. Your mother dies. Your dog gets hit by a car. Me, I was asleep. I didn't know anything. Right. You're a witch, man. You're the devil. Don't go to hell. Of course, they say she's my victim. Well, that was the biggest scam ever, huh? I'm then her lesbian girlfriend, assistant chief. She adjudicates the same. Well, I told her to F off. I mean, about a decade of harassment from the whore. Right. Her thing was she looks like a spinster, but she's actually having sex with elderly men that were bosses, judges probably, but for sure supervisors. Right. She was an administrative employee. Now she got the deputy position, right? Right. Right. But it wasn't in our district. It was I think she was a headquarters baby. Right. That whore messed with my life, messed with my wife. She has no right to even be in the Marshal Service the day after she talked to my wife. Right. 100%. But they were stalking me and my family for a long time. So what happens is I get on detail. And this guy starts telling me what's going on in Arizona. Now, I'm too effed off, and the CIA is involved, so I'm most likely still, I wasn't still drugged, but they're most likely drugged. I don't think I was drugged when I was on assignment. But they started hiring people while I was on assignment. I'd give them a call, they know that, hey, I do something to this guy, I'm going to get something in life, right? But meanwhile, they're isolating me and stressing me out because what is that? They'll tell you it's going to try to trigger me to commit some murder or rape. But what it's actually designed to do is, to break me down so that I would do it. Like, not like, oh, this is just natural process and all we're doing is testing, right? Or try to hit on a woman on assignment and then say, oh, you tried to hit on me. All right. And the whole process is to turn me gay. So they're going to mess around with that, see if they can get me fired with it, but harm me with women all the time. Right. So I'm on assignment. The guy starts telling me about some Marshal Service employees that got in trouble in Arizona because they were stalking coworkers, saying they were investigating. But they were stalking them, trying to, same thing, trying to F up their lives so they can put them out of the agency. Look, you use Queen Bee, lesbian girlfriend of little girl, right, and you use Slickster to do it. It's like a sure thing that I'm a good person and a good employee, right? So it's like, why would they do that? So, although there's an appeal to oh, they found a room locked again. Or it's the same one. How many darn kids you got? Oh, they're neighbors' kids or something, right? You don't have that many kids, do you? No wonder you need the salary of a secretary. He's like a missionary. You ever see missionaries in the Fundamental Baptist Church? They got like 15 kids. No, we're not sexual. What do you mean? Oh, it's all immaculate conception. Now, I actually want to speak on this. Immaculate conception is possible, physically. So again, who knows? But it's not something I need to argue to believe the rest of the story. Again, people in Judaism realize what it really is. Now, people that hate Christians because they're so ignorant and snobbish and you know, really not spiritual, right, playing their little deep state game out against Jews, right? They'll yell at them and say stuff, but Jews know that that the scriptures work that way. Right? Nobody knows what, you know, even if it was, they don't even know if it was immaculate conception. Like means they may have made that up after the fact. Right. Like the Roman emperor, the Roman orgy emperor. Oh yeah, she was a virgin. Oh, the buy in the land one, yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're like that, you know. We're all virgins. We're all virgins. Just like the LDS Church. We're all virgins here. I guess it's because they don't use contraceptives, I guess. Yeah, the guy's like 25, his wife 25. They got like 10 kids. How'd you do that? I sure don't look clarity. I mean, all right, what do you got here? Well, yeah, again, that Gavin Newsom thing was ill-advised if you set that up. Oh, here's the token people. Oh, we got black people. That means we're not racist. I was a little leery because I knew their history of like saying black people were automatically devils or something like that. That's why they were black, right? Moss might agree to a partial hostage. You know. I'd try amnesty. I would have tried amnesty for like some of the lower level Hamas people that weren't involved. Because, right? I mean, you killed so many Hamas. Obviously, some of these people, they're just people you destroyed their homes and they killed their parents and their kids and their brothers and sisters, and then they joined Hamas. See, that's why that doesn't work, right? Right. They're projected. Somebody's online projecting. Let's see. So again, they sold their soul. Might be a rich CIA crony, but sold your souls, all of you. I mean, I have no idea how they think they're going to heaven, or how God would excuse it. I have no idea. But then again, we have Adolf Hitler and those people, and it's very similar, but it's spycraft. It's a little different way of murdering people. Why don't I go out? You're devils, man. I'm going to rub elbows with devils in Kansas. I'll wait until I move on, and then if Cincinnati's ready to throw down, then we'll throw down. Again, throw down means metaphysics. Right. I mean, I don't know what y'all are not getting. Right. Like a lot of these people going to hell. This is the funny part. Oh yeah, I'm part of the deep state. No, they're recruiting people for the deep state. That's what they're doing overseas.
September 1998.
The famous fashion week.
The famous fashion week.
Were you introduced?
Well, no, we were both at the same party, and that's how we met. He came to me.
I went crazy. I said, I was actually supposed to meet somebody else. There was this great supermodel sitting next to Melania. I was supposed to meet the supermodel. And I said, look, there's so-and-so. I said, forget about her. Who's the one on the left? And I was one of you like, how did you two meet?
We met in New York, 1998. It was a fashion week, September 1998.
The famous fashion week.
The famous fashion week in
Were
New
you
York.
introduced?
Well, no, we were both at the same party, and
Here's Loomer. Kill the children! Ah! Look, Large Marge, get on this one. Call her Wicked Witch of the... what can we call Wicked Witch of the... the Wicked Witch of Manga's at it again. Kill the Palestinian children! No surgery! Fire whoever signed off on those visas now! How Marco Rubio dares sign off on surgery visas for kids. Get rid of him! Like I said, the immigration effort is going to reduce crime. It's obvious by the percentage of foreign criminals, immigrant criminals we have in our federal system, state system, I imagine. Pedophile symbols. Is that Marge? I mean, not Marge. I mean, somebody called Shadow. That's BS. I thought it was, what's her name? Loomer. Well, they're exporting the deep state via the LDS. What a shame. That's how the beast works, man. They're going to take over these other countries with religion. A fake religion, that is. I don't even want to hear those guys. Thank you, Larry. Oh, here they go with everybody's cheating again. I guess they figure they're going to lose the next election, so MAGA's starting with everybody's cheating. Well, of course Putin got into the beast because they're actually wiretapping everybody that's on the detail. So they know it's a real protective detail. All right. I hope they didn't set that up. That'd be poor for us. Oh, they locked up my freaking computer. A bunch of assholes. Oh, there we go. What happened? Yeah, cut the road off. But oh, it's pressure. But again, when the Ukrainians went into Russia, when Putin said he was ready to negotiate, they should have waited till afterwards. Right? They lost their way. They're the down person at that point. Right? So you can't really say that Putin's doing anything on the day of negotiation at that point. No, they're saying he should get a Nobel Peace Prize. It's a talking point. That if he actually does something that we probably can't do. Right. Dude, she looks like completely different without the special lighting in the studio. Laura Ingram, okay. She looks like a completely different person. Who are you? Hey, Ingram? Why do you look different? That's easy. Yeah, eventually you're gonna have to let some of those people go back to their regular duties. Correct. I agree. Now, Kim wants to ride in the beast now. Leader Kim wants to ride in the beast. Well, somebody in North Korea said something. I don't know if it was Kim or not. Probably Kim. Leader Kim's watching this. Trumpu. Trumpu. It's Kim. Now, the guy had something in his hand. It could have been, what do they call it? A fall. They saw something that it wasn't, but I'm not sure what it was. But they saw something in his hand, and I don't still know what was in his hand. Right. Something pretty big. He's DoorDash trying to repo his vehicle. Oh, now we're talking about Fauci. Statute of limitations. It's done for. You can't prosecute. Right. Well, if they're doing this, they should be moving them somewhere else, hopefully. Right.
This is crazy.
I should have let them give them an opportunity. Right. Get that stuff out of there. Right. Just announce it so they know. Right. I guess they did. They said they announced something. Who knows when that was? That could have been like 4 years ago. Looks nice in Alaska. I wish I was there. It's so nasty here. It's like 90-something degrees still. Spies made Elon Musk. There's no doubt. Could be South African spies. That's how sucky our country is. Like, these immigrants come over here, they're spies from their home country, make them big. Could have been South African spies, could have been UK spies, could have been our spies. Now he's propped up from day one. Never would have met the people he met. Wouldn't have went to the schools he went to unless they were planning something. Right. It's the only time welfare doesn't matter, when it's like somebody the spies prop up. Right. And Trump got a lot of money for people too. Right. No, Trump. If they didn't rescue Trump, Trump would have never recovered for the bankruptcies. Right. I'm not saying they should. I'm just telling you. Right. There's no self-made people in this country. Hasn't been for decades. Right. Well, there's no. You have to meet with them. Right. Should have met with him years ago. We may not have had the Ukrainian conflict. Right. That's what that whole Russiagate was, or part of it was to make Trump not want to meet with Putin because he'd be paranoid. Right. What is that? Yeah, but these people are made by spies to keep the thing going. I mean, that's why he's deranged. They wanted me to be like that. They really did, man. That's what all the church. If he went to church, that they would continue the operation. Say they were investigating him. He'd never stay because they'd be effing him off all day. He could never heal. He could never get out of where he is. They're sickos, man. They're already there. No. Right. No, they were already on the street, and then he did that. Oh wait, they went to his apartment? I thought they detained him right then and there. That's kind of weird. Two guys could have knocked on his door. Yo, we need. Actually, you could have called them on the phone. Hey, can you come down to Mars service? Well, don't make us come out there. Just come on down here. You know, take a few minutes to fingerprint. Yeah, you know, we'll get you up to the magistrate. They'll probably cut you loose. Well, no, we're going to have to make a production. We're going to have to come down there. I mean, you don't want that, right? Your neighbors be looking at everything. He probably would have self-surrendered at midnight if he called him at 11:21. Just so you wouldn't come to his apartment. Right. Well, if you don't get here by midnight, we're gonna have to come down there with a SWAT team. Pam Bounty's breathing down our neck. Is there anything left of government, or is it this entire thing whacked? I knew it was failing fast in 2005. You go down there with a SWAT team right now. And you get that guy with the Subway sandwich. Boom orders it. Threat of job loss. What is this? Yeah, that's kind of pedophilic. Kind of pedophilic there, Elvis. People used to never get molested for, I mean, not molested, that's them, arrested for molesting and stuff. Believe me, it's like an act of God. It's worse than getting a DW. Like, nobody would ever get in trouble for driving drunk. Right. It's probably worse than that, right? And then I grow up and act like I'm one. After they did nothing to the people that did it to me. Typical. So they can scumbag my life. Well, the fact is, Trump did receive election assistance from Putin. So again, and Biden received election assistance from Zelensky. It's the American citizens that lose out. Like Zelensky didn't lose out there. He's a Biden crony. Paid a lot of money. They paid a lot of money of that money into the U.S. economy to get Biden reelected. Right. That's all that money they spent on that bullshit. I mean, they could give every citizen, $100 a week, probably. Right, at least. No, not really, because we have to give Elon the rocket money. That's a lot of money. It's Bash Elon Day. What's he doing there?
And what you did in the world of Trump. Hey, Nancy, right now, because I
She might have.
know who Trump is, because I'm telling you, my friend, he will kick your teeth in.
She may have got him, or somebody got him. Right? No, Nancy Mace is wacko. They may be actually be grooming her for the first female president. She's nuts, man. She's dangerous. Right? She may have got this guy drugged. It may have been her handlers. In other words, she may not be part of it. Right? Now, the deep state's definitely, the conservative deep state is definitely grooming Nancy Mace. Right? This is like, this is nothing new. This has been going on for like 5 decades. 6, probably even longer. Like 6 decades. Ever since like Pakistani Indian people started buying up those stores and gas stations. This is nothing new. You just have it on video now. We had this Pakistani guy who made hoagies down at the corner, he sold, meats and little corner store. And he used to have, like a bat like that. And then one day a guy came in and shot him. Right. No, that's nothing new. That's been going on for 60, 70 years. No, you don't got to be high for that to happen, believe me. I don't think people grow up in the city like it's a thing. You abuse the foreign guy that owns that corner store. Right. You have to call it Persia. No, Persian. Or they'll get nowhere. No, I'll explain in a second. So, I thought it was like kind of small talk from Hashem, but it's real. Like, Hashem calls it Persia, and until they call it Persia, he probably can't get there. He can't get there. Right. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but Hashem told me years ago. He goes, I never ran. He goes, it's still Persia. He never changed the name. Right. What the hell was that? Well, I hope you found them places to live. Right. Thanks, Larry.
They know you're a rich kid from Missouri. Get off me! Get the fuck out! All right, let's go. Are you proud? I gotta cuff you up. Let's just go. For what? Let's go. I'm telling you, let's go.
That's what you've been doing all those years in Gaza with the tunnels. You should have been destroying them. You shouldn't have let those tunnels exist. You still have to do. You have to expand the civil affairs operations. It's the only way to make it work. Right? AI is crazy. I mean, but it's like always a battle. I mean, okay, they're protesting. People protest here, people protest there. Both sides protest. I mean, it's just so stupid to spend all that energy condemning normal behavior. Right. It's just a meeting. The meeting's the important part. Again, as far as getting anywhere, I don't even know if anything was possible, as far as a substantial change in anything. Right. But the meeting is necessary, and that starts the process. Correct. Wait a minute. She doesn't have to leave the Coast Guard base. Everybody knew she was there, right? Well, maybe, who knows? That's weird. She's not moving out of the Coast Guard base, I don't think. Well, it's secure, right? Let's see if I find anything. They're trying to fear me. Yeah, see, I said, see if I can find anything, and then they put their face in. Their curse. That's how the curses work. Then their face shows up, and hey, we're looking for something. We're gonna find something. I should stay in a military house. I don't want that. I could suggest that for everyone. Right. Oh, they show photos of the apartment. Right. Yeah, she shouldn't be there anyway. Right. Obviously, you're all doing something different. I don't know what it is, but you're not showing up in the news anymore at your places that you're living. So, right. Of course, I suggested renting houses. In gated communities. What's this? There's some congressman saying something about he's agreeing. He's agreeing because he wants Loomer to back him. Yeah, Loomer will keep my job forever if I suck up the Loomer. I'll be a congressman. I'll be a senator next week it's like I'm the loomer. Like when I was asleep, they did. In other words, it's not the content of what they're saying. Fear is actually a spell on your mind. I know it looks like it's something else, but it's actually a spell. 100%. So I was in martial arts, I was totally asleep, so they got me pretty good. Right. I said you couldn't heal. There's just no way you could heal with what they were doing. Again, it was a very evil time period. So they were actually working for the enemies of the United States. So how did they finally take me out? Because all the terrorists, right, were cursing all of us, veterans of the any war that went against an Arabic nation, a Sunni tribe or a Shia tribe or whatever. Right. So they got backed by that. And even though they're again, that's how it works. They fight each other, but then they kill us, the honest people. Right. What does that say? Now they couldn't violate that trust, right? I don't think it was for what IAC warrants or whatever, ICC warrants. It was for right, attempts on his life, right? He's a trillionaire. No, Elon's going to be the first trillionaire. We're getting closer. Vladimir Putin's a trillionaire.
You are not welcome here. This is my family. You're not welcome here.
Yep, he's gonna be the mayor of New York. He's gonna be the mayor of New York. I told you to reduce the friction. Right. That's why they said what's his name? The guardian angel guy said, "Stay out of the election, President Trump. Don't back me. I'll lose." Right. No, we're going to take down Fauci like immediately. Well, we got evidence, a lot of stuff. The statute of limitations have already run. Right. I'm sure of it. Hey, Trump! I want all the agents fired, all of them. He's taking growth hormone. He's definitely taking growth hormone. Right. They're all taking growth hormone. I can't even get there to save my life because of what they did to it. Even like just the natural stuff. Right. Yeah, the devils, man. They work for Satan. They're organized crime members. Somebody paid for me to be murdered, and they just keep trying to do it the way they do it. Again, if I was more careful, I'd already been, or less careful, I would already been murdered. Right. All I had to do is go to a couple casinos in New Mexico, and I'd have been murdered somewhere along the way. Right. What is this? Oh, he should not have gotten on that vehicle. Ugh. Yeah, I gotta watch that kind of stuff. Like again, this is she's wrong, but I mean, look what she did. She may not have she may not even have known that he was on there. Right. You gotta watch it. You don't get inside vehicles either. You get on the radio. It's simple. She's not going to get that far. Right. And then, of course, you got cameras at every traffic light. What is this? Well, when Putin sat in the beast, he was getting x-rayed. CAT scan, actually. They had it set so he could even read the label on his underwear. We also got a DNA sample. Yeah, they ship that off to the FBI lab. As soon as Putin gets out, they bring a different beast and ship that one off the FBI lab. Ah, she aged well. That's what I think. I had a connection with her for a minute. I never knew anything. She was in the independent counsel office. She was at the front. I walked and I saw her, but I didn't know what saw meant, you know? I mean, she knew she saw me. She was awake, right? I didn't know. So what was she doing? She was in there in the front, sitting in that little, field expedient lobby they made, right? And then I was heading to the door, or I was just coming in. I can't remember. Maybe I was trying to go get his mail. I may have been trying to go get Star's mail from somewhere, like after screening. All right. Nah, she looks pretty good. She looks better than she did when she was younger, I think. Saw her for like a second. Not a second, I guess about a minute. I forget what it's like. I think she's being interviewed or something, but I don't remember what I was doing. The only thing that's happening actually with the ice thing is it's bigger. Like it's a bigger operation. This has been going on kind of the whole time, right? People, this stuff was happening, but nobody was like, filming it, and it was less, because there was less operations. But all this craziness that always goes on. Goes on in the Marshal Service. Hang on, Marge. Look, now this is my talk. This was my talking point from like. Now I'm not like I understand slavery and all that, but I was trying. There's a correlation to some of the slavery, right? Right. To people that slaved and then getting taken slaves. There's some of that too, right? Oh, trouble, shut us down, knock it off. No, Laura Loomer will shut us down, knock it off. That's what's the post. Oh, I can't get the post. What's going on there? Actually, if you know what that means, it's not offensive. All right. I saw that right. Knock it off. Laura Loomer will shut us down. Right. Something with God. I forget what. God is great or something. God is most great. I mean, every religion says that. It's just, that's how you say it. Like if you were a Jewish person and you wanted to communicate that in Arabic, that's how you would say it. Like before all this nonsense and insanity, if you were Maimonides, which is a Jewish rabbi, I guess sage, I guess they call them, right? You would actually say that while you were talking to someone, that God is the greatest. Right? That's all. Like I told you, Allah only means God. It isn't like Mercury, the god of the god of something. It's just that's how you say God in Arabic. So it's just insane what's happened to the planet, right? So once upon a time, if you were a Jew in an Arabic nation, you would say Allahu Akbar. Because that's how you would say it. Right? While you continue to speak in Arabic, of course. Where it's getting like, oh, it's what's it called? I gotta load the manure. I gotta load it. That's the only thing I load. Get out of here. All right, I'm gonna get offline real quick, and I'll be on in a second.